Hello and welcome back to Module 3, Using Teaching Aids. In this video, we'll be focusing on the use of traditional realia, virtual realia, and pictures in language teaching and learning. Now, let's have a look at these things and say what they are. This is a map, a clock, and a leaflet. Okay, what do you call these objects as a type of teaching aid? They are realia, an incredibly effective visual aid in the English as a second language (ESL) or English as a foreign language (EFL) classroom. Here are two definitions of realia. In the Longman Dictionary of Language Teaching and Applied Linguistics by Richards and Platt & Platt, 1992, realia is actual objects and items which are brought into the classroom as examples or as aids to be taught or written about and used in teaching. Besides, according to Dickens, Robertson, Hoffman, 1995, realia is anything which has a purpose outside of the ESL classroom and can be brought into the classroom. One outstanding feature of realia is realia allows students to use all the 5 senses to explore the object. More exactly, they can see, hear, smell, taste, and touch the object right in class. So, what do you use realia for? Firstly, you can bring a range of real objects such as a map, a globe, a leaflet, etc. to demonstrate meaning easily and in a lively way. You can also help students revise their knowledge by putting objects in a bag and ask them to feel, not see, the object and guess what it is. Moreover, you can bring in clock faces, plastic fruits, and telephones, and any other real objects, and use them like theatrical props for classroom activities such as a dialogue, a real-life situation, or a role play. Here are ways for you to implement the use of realia. First, work out the opportunities to use realia. You need to decide on what objects to use and why you use them in the lesson. This should be noted in your lesson plan. Secondly, collect the realia, store and classify them for future use. Last, collaborate with other teachers in order to build a realia resource library. Thanks to this, there will be a wider variety of realia added to the collection. Now, let's watch this video clip and say what the teacher is using the realia for. The teacher in this video is using real objects to teach students about different shapes. Let's continue with another type of visual aids. Well, what can you see in the picture? They are real objects which are digitized into one picture, and they are called virtual realia. So, what is virtual realia? Virtual realia refers to digitized objects and items from the target culture which are brought into the classroom as examples or aids in the teaching and learning process. It is a collection of linguistic and non-linguistic authentic materials which have been compiled, scanned, and posted on www server. What are the benefits of virtual realia? Virtual realia are more and more popular because they benefit those international teachers who are less mobile and unable to collect their own materials. Besides, they help break down the geographic barriers and thus provide insights into the target culture. Virtual realia are truly interactive and more flexible than traditional ones in that they can be easily adapted and updated. For example, a page from a brochure can be digitally altered for use in information gap activities without damaging the original. Well, we've been talking about traditional realia and virtual realia, and now we'll point out some similarities and differences between these visual aids. Let's see. Traditional realia are similar to virtual realia in several ways. First, they are both effective visual aids in language teaching and learning. Second, they are motivating visual aids which help increase students' overall participation. And finally, they make teaching and learning practices more meaningful because they are real objects and lifelike images brought to class. However, there are some differences between these two teaching aids. While traditional realia are tangible, that is, we can touch and even feel them, virtual realia are intangible, that is, we can see but cannot touch them. Traditional realia are not always available and handy for teachers to use in class, but virtual realia are available if you have an electronic device connected to the internet. Now, let's move on to the last type of visual aids that we would like to introduce in this lesson. What is this? It's the picture. Pictures are also another type of visual aids that teachers tend to use in their lessons. Teachers have always used pictures or graphics, whether drawn, taken from books, newspapers, and magazines, or photographed, to facilitate learning. Pictures can be in the form of flashcards. These are smallish cards which we can hold up for our students to see. Pictures include large wall pictures which are big enough for everyone to see the details. Pictures are also in the form of cue cards, which are small cards that students use in pair or group work. And pictures include photographs or illustrations, which are typically found in a textbook. You've got 1 minute to look at the given activities and decide whether you can use pictures in these activities. The answer is yes. You can use pictures in any of these activities. Let's now talk a little more about when to use pictures. Pictures of all kinds can be used in a variety of ways. For drills, pictures are used to drill grammar items, cue different sentences, practice vocabulary, or elicit a response. For games, pictures are extremely useful for a variety of communication activities, such as describe and draw. That is, student A describes one picture orally, and student B has to draw that picture. For understanding, one of the most appropriate uses for pictures is for presenting and checking meanings. For ornamentation, pictures of various kinds are often used to make the learning task more appealing. A picture can enhance a reading text, giving an extra visual dimension to what students are reading. For prediction, pictures are useful for getting students to predict what is coming next in a lesson. Thus, students might look at a picture and try to guess what it shows. And for discussion, pictures can stimulate questions such as, what is it showing? How does it make you feel? Would you like to have this picture in your house? Etc. You can make wall pictures, flashcards, and cue cards in a number of ways as follows. Take pictures from magazines and stick them on cards. Draw pictures if you can. Buy reproductions, photographs, and posters from shops. Photocopy pictures from a variety of sources, or find pictures on the internet and print them off for use. In Module 3, we have discussed the topic of using teaching aids. Specifically, we have addressed the definitions, important roles, and classification of teaching aids. And we have also introduced the application of the board, the interactive whiteboard, the teacher, traditional realia, virtual realia, and pictures in language teaching and learning process. We hope you have now had a better idea of how to use teaching aids to facilitate your teaching practices and manage your class more effectively. Now, you can go to Learn section, select Discuss, and participate in the online discussion forum. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.